Hello everyone! The plans for the upcoming banners in Genshin Impact had been shifting around quite a bit, which is why I want to break down every single new detail with you today. We're going to cover everything from confirmed information and reliable rumors to even some of my own speculation. Before we dive in though, just a quick heads up. I'll only be talking about the new characters expected to be released during the Nod-Krai patches. And of course, remember that everything in this video is subject to change, since nothing here has been officially confirmed by miHoYo. These details are all coming from trusted leakers in the community. First, let's do a quick recap of what's coming in version 6.0, just in case some of you missed the official livestream. In the first phase, we are getting La Roma alongside Nihida, plus the addition of the Sumeru Chronicled Wish banner, which is basically another chance to pick up characters you might have missed from that region. Then, for the second phase, we're looking at banners that will feature Flynn's and Yilan. Now let's get into the good stuff and start with the version 6.1 banners. If you've been following the leaks, you probably already know that NEFER is expected to get her own banner. This information has been reported by so many reliable sources that it's almost a given at this point. NEFER is going to be a 5-star character who uses a catalyst and seems to function as a main DPS. Her kit is built around a brand new reaction called Lunar Bloom, which looks like it might be one of the defining mechanics of the entire Nod-Krai region. We actually know a little bit about how her kit works already. Normally, when Hydro and Dendro react, they create Dendro cores on the field. But when NEFER is the one triggering that reaction, instead of spawning those cores, the reaction directly strengthens her Lunar Bloom damage. It might sound a little confusing on paper, but it's basically a way to channel the power of the reaction right into her own abilities, instead of leaving it on the ground. It's definitely something we'll need to see in some gameplay leaks to really understand. Alongside NEFER, we're also expecting another character named Jeholda, who is a 4-star Animo bow user. We don't have any details about her abilities just yet, but more information will probably surface as we get closer to the version's release. Moving on to version 6.2, this update is shaping up to be one of the most highly anticipated ones because it marks the debut of Duran. He's expected to be a 5-star Pyro character, but what surprised a lot of players is that he seems to be more of a support or sub-DPS, rather than a main DPS. Considering his lore as a dragon, most people just assumed he would be this overwhelming powerhouse. But making him a support allows him to fill a pretty unique role while still being incredibly powerful. In fact, it's already being said that both Duran and Columbina are the strongest characters planned for these early Nod-Krai patches. For now, Duran is the only new character that's strongly tied to version 6.2, but more could always be added later on. Now that we've talked about the first couple of patches, I'm really curious to know what you're thinking. We have a new main DPS with a unique reaction and a powerful pyro support on the way, so let me know in the comments which character is catching your interest the most so far. Now let's talk about version 6.3, because the spotlight here is all on Columbina, who has been one of the most talked about figures leading into Nod-Krai. She's essentially the archon figure of this new region, and that was even teased during the 6.0 livestream in the promotional art that only featured archons. Columbina will be a 5-star Hydro character. As of right now, though, we don't know any specifics about her kit. There's no confirmed weapon, no abilities, and no talent information. All we can really do is wait for gameplay leaks or an official reveal. Given her importance as the region's archon, expectations are incredibly high, and it's pretty unlikely that miHoYo will disappoint. For all the lore fans, many are wondering if she has officially left the Fatui Harbingers, and the upcoming archon quests in Nod-Krai should shed some light on that. That's when we'll see what happened between her and the Tsaritsa. What we do know is that Columbina is being described as the single strongest playable character in the entire 6.x cycle. Some leakers have even suggested that players should pick up Ano, who is free, because she can provide some utility that resembles Columbina's role. Of course, Columbina will be the far superior option, but grabbing Ano as a freebie could help you build towards that synergy. For version 6.4, things take a very interesting turn. We'll be halfway through the Nod-Krai patches at this point, and historically, this is when Hoiverse tends to introduce characters from outside the current region. According to some older leaks, we can expect a totally new 5-star female character who will join the standard banner after her debut. More recent information also points towards Varka finally making his appearance. It's possible that both of these characters could share this patch, with the unknown girl debuting and then moving into the standard banner pool, while Varka gets featured on his own event banner. If miHoYo only releases Varka in this version without another new limited character, that could be a strong signal that he's the one destined for the standard banner. That's just my speculation, of course, but it would make sense based on how the company has handled certain characters in the past. Either way, version 6.4 looks like it will introduce at least one new addition to the standard banner and possibly mark the long-awaited arrival of Varka. In version 6.5, we're expected to finally see Nicole. Some of you might not recognize that name right away, but Nicole is a member of the Hexen Circle, which is the same group that Elise, Klee's mother, belongs to. This alone makes her an extremely important lore character with strong ties to the main story. Sadly, no concrete details about her kit exist yet, which makes sense given how far out 6.5 still is. What we do know is that her release will be a huge moment for the narrative side of the game, expanding our knowledge of the Hexen Circle and their role in Tevat. For now, Nicole appears to be the only new character tied to version 6.5. Then we have version 6.6, which might just be one of the most hyped patches in the entire Nod-Krai cycle. This is when Alice herself, the founder of the Hexen Circle and Klee's mother, is expected to make her debut. Rumors suggest she'll be a 5-star Pyro Catalyst DPS. Players have been waiting for her release for years, and her role in the lore has made her one of the most mysterious and powerful figures outside of the archons. While we don't know her exact abilities yet, her very presence in the playable roster is going to be a massive moment. She is also likely to be the only new character introduced in version 6.6, which would make the patch feel like a huge celebration of her arrival. Finally, let's discuss version 6.7. Each region tends to feature both its Archon and at least one Fatui Harbinger as playable characters. Since Columbina is filling that Archon role for Nod-Krai, the Harbinger slot belongs to Sandrone. That's right, we should be getting Sandrone as a playable character in 6.7. This means Nod-Krai will actually give us 2 Harbingers in total, with Columbina and Sandrone. It's a pretty bold move, but it suggests that miHoYo is accelerating the rollout of Harbinger characters as we get closer to the Cryo region. With Snezhnia looming on the horizon, it makes sense for the developers to start releasing more Harbingers at a faster pace so they don't all pile up at the very end. And it looks like there won't be a new character in version 6.8. So that's the roadmap as it currently stands, from NEFER's introduction in 6.1 all the way to Sandrone in 6.7. Just keep in mind that all of this is still based on leaks and speculation, so things could definitely change before release. But as of now, this gives us a pretty clear idea of how the Nod-Krai patch cycle might unfold, and it is shaping up to be one of the most exciting arcs in Genshin's history. So what do you think about all of this? Who are you planning to save your Primogems for? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Until next time!